Share, and we will get started. All right, if you can see the screen that says goal setting for balanced living, give me a thumbs up. Awesome, thank you so much. Perfect. Good, thank you for raising your hands. I appreciate it. So I want to thank everyone for joining tonight. I know it's a very busy time of year, right between Christmas and the New Year, and there's so much hustle and bustle going on. But if you're like me, this week is kind of a sweet spot where we're saying goodbye to 2016, but we're saying hello to a whole new set of opportunities for 2017. And I'm so excited to be able to share this information with you because it's something that I myself am so super passionate about, which is talking about balanced living, but especially goal setting for balanced living. So let's get right into it. There we go. Perfect. So if we haven't yet met, my name is Jenny Summerman, and I'm the creator of Your Life Rocks. And I really created Your Life Rocks for working Christian moms. As a working Christian mom myself, I have two boys. They're 7 and 11, and we live in Oregon. And throughout my career, whenever I would look for resources for working Christian moms, I would find great resources that had to do with leadership, but oftentimes it was a man's voice, not a female voice. Or if it was a woman's voice, it was not exactly a Christian perspective at all. In fact, sometimes it can be just the opposite of some of the things that align with my Christian beliefs. And even as a parent, there's some really great resources out there, but a lot of it for moms is geared towards stay-at-home moms or moms to really, really young kids, and not necessarily something for teenagers when you're trying to balance preteens like I'm kind of entering with my kids. And so I really wanted to create a resource out there for moms, for working Christian moms specifically, to be able to get all of the resources that they need in one place. And that's why I created Your Life Rocks. If you're new to the Your Life Rocks brand, we have a weekly podcast that you can plug into that's just about everywhere that podcasts can be listened to. It's on iTunes, iHeartRadio, any of the Android apps that are out there. We also have an amazing community that I hope that you are a part of that is growing more and more every single day and is really truly building a tribe of like-minded women who are all about praying for each other, supporting each other, and most importantly, growing with each other, which I think is pretty great as well. Now, we also have a number of different courses, and we have a number of different things like that that we do. I do one-on-one coaching, and we have a membership called Life Balance by Your Life Rocks. So that kind of sums up a bit of what the brand is and who I am as a person. So one thing to know, all of this stuff that I teach within Your Life Rocks, most of it comes through life experience. Certainly, there's a lot of mentors, books I've read, podcasts I've listened to, events that I've gone to, and really kind of filtered it through that filter of a working Christian mom to be able to provide it back to you. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to be covering tonight on the webinar. So very first off, we're going to talk about how to set goals in a very balanced way. Right now, it's like everywhere, all over Facebook, social media, Instagram. You cannot go anywhere without hearing about people setting New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals. And so we're going to talk about how to set those goals in a very balanced way. I'm going to share with you 3 strategies that I use to ensure that as we're setting goals, it's balanced, because that is key. So we'll talk about the importance of that as well. Then we're going to talk about really setting yourself up for success. It's not just enough to set a goal, but we have to actually put in the work to start fulfilling the goal. And then finally, we're going to talk about what it takes to achieve your goal, because we want to celebrate that success. We don't want to just keep wanting and wishing and hoping that we're going to be achieving that goal. We want to actually achieve it, right? All right. So we're going to talk about all of that. So first, let's talk about setting goals. And like I said, there's 3 strategies that I want to share about setting goals in a balanced way. So when we talk about what life balance even is, as a definition for Your Life Rocks, we define life balance by setting goals in all areas of your life. If you think about it this way, in the past, if you've ever set a goal, say for example, in your career, everything else kind of slides down because you're only focused on that one thing, your career. Or maybe your goal is health, and that becomes your sole focus. Well, other things then start to slip. maybe not as much as career, but it certainly starts to slip. When we start to talk about being intentional, living intentionally, and setting goals for your faith, for your marriage, for how you are as a parent, for your career, your home, your finances, your health, and even your other relationships, and having more fun, then that is really where you start to have more balance and more fulfillment in your life. Because if you think about it, where you set a goal is where you put your focus. And so when you set a goal in all those areas, now you're focused in all those areas, and it really can allow you to live in a balanced life. Now, how in the world do you possibly manage going after goals in all those areas? We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But that's the first step in setting goals for balanced living, is to set a goal in every single one of those 8 areas that we talk about. Now, when we talk about setting goals, I also encourage you to set shorter goals. When we talk about New Year's resolutions, and you hear people say, like, what's your word for 2017, and all kinds of things like that, which are great. But I highly encourage you to pick a shorter term, maybe 90 days. That's always what I tend to focus on when I'm setting goals, is a 90-day period. And the reason why 90 days is such a powerful time period is it's long enough for you to be able to see true substantial results, but it's also short enough that you can be motivated to complete it. Because I don't know about you, but when I started out 2016, my life was so completely different than it is right now at the end of 2016. Not only does it look different, but I'm different. I've grown as a person. My goals have changed. The things that I work for has changed. So chances are 2017 is probably going to be pretty similar. So why try to set a goal for the entire year? Because what happens is when we set a goal for that long of a period of time, and then we're not able to stick with it, we're not able to actually fulfill that, then that's when that guilt starts to set in. And that guilt is what creates that unbalance. And that is not a fun place to be. So shorter period of time is definitely key in setting goals in all areas of life, right? All right, the next tip in setting goals for balanced living is to consider the flesh versus the spirit when you're setting your goals. You know, the Bible tells us that we reap what we sow. And in Galatians, it warns us about setting goals of the flesh. And not so many words, but really thinking about the things that we go after and the things we put our time and our attention to. And it's so easy, right? You think about, like, the number one New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Well, what's your intention behind that goal? What's your why behind that goal? Is it rooted in the spirit, or is it rooted in the flesh? Meaning, is it something that you're doing for vanity's sake, or because someone tells you should look a certain way? Or is it truly because you want to honor your body and be a good steward to the gift that God has given you? Same thing can be said for your finances, your home, your marriage, you name it, any part of life. But you really have to examine that root of your why behind that goal. Is it something that is pleasing to God? So as you're setting those goals, I encourage you to ask yourself this one simple question. How am I being myself, how am I going to show up as the best self in this area for God? So for example, if you're setting a goal for your marriage, how can I show up the best for God in my marriage? And then think about what those things might be. It could be really similar to what you're doing now, or it could be completely different than you're doing now. But when you're setting goals that are in obedience to God versus just the things that we want because we want it that way, it makes it a completely different process in setting that goal. And truly, if you ask me for the number one tip, if you feel like your life is so completely out of balance and you're looking for that one thing to bring it back in balance, put God first. That's it. It's that simple. You put God first and everything else will fall into place, guaranteed. It happens every single time. But because we're human, we always try to complicate it and we're always looking for a different answer. But that's simply the answer, is to put God first. So put God first when you're setting your goals as well. Pray about it, but take action and be open for that correction. But ask yourself, what would be the best version of me in serving God in this area of my life? What would that look like? And then get to work to make that change. Now, the third step in setting goal for balanced living is to really make sure that your goals are in alignment. And so this is what I mean by this. It's easy to maybe set a goal in this area of life or another area of your life and to get really clear, and it's a really strong and actionable goal. But say, for example, and I think I shared this as an example on the podcast this week as well, Maybe one of the goals that you've set for yourself is that you want to have more date nights with your spouse. And that is something that you really are committed to doing in the next 90 days, which is an amazing thing to do. Having that alone time with your spouse is going to bond you together. It's going to keep you close. It'll allow for more communication. I'm a huge proponent of date night. But if your financial goal is to not eat out so much and save more money, those goals might be in conflict. So when you're saving money, you're going to feel guilty because you're not having the date night. And when you're having date night, you're going to feel guilty because you're not saving the money. They are not in alignment. So it's important that you look at each goal stacked upon to each other to make sure they're all in alignment with each other. Does it make sense? And if it doesn't, course correct. Because we all know you can be creative with date nights. Doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money, but it takes intention. And intention means that you have to really know about it to do something about it, right? So those are the 3 steps. So first section, we're talking about the steps for setting goals for balanced living. So number 1, make sure you're setting goals in all 8 areas of your life, right? So we're talking about your faith, your marriage, parenting, home, finances, I always count on my fingers, your career, and lastly, friends and fun. I think I forgot one in there. So, but make sure you're setting goals in all 8 of those areas of your life. Next, make sure that you're checking the intention behind those goals. Are they for the spirit or are they for the flesh? Asking yourself, how can I show up best for God in this area? And just so we're clear, we're saved by grace and not by acts. It's not that we have to perform for God, but because we love him, we want to be our best for him because he is his best for us, right? That's what a relationship is. Then lastly, make sure that your goals are in alignment, that they're not combating each other, that they really make sense. So that is those first 3 things with setting goals for balanced living. All right, so now let's talk about setting yourself up for success. This is a really, really important thing and something that I'm a huge proponent of. In fact, this is something I believe in so very much that one of my courses called Weekly Success Planning, it's something that I've normally charged money for, but because I feel like it's something that every woman needs in their life, in 2017, it's going to be free because I truly believe that having a strong Sunday prep day, a week that's well prepared for, is going to bring you so much more success in the new year. So because you've registered for this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and just send that course to you so you don't have to register for anything new or look for anything new. It will just come right to your email box and you should see that early next week. So that was my New Year gift from me to you to really help you set up, because when you are prepared for something, it makes all the difference. When you have a strong calendar, it's everything. Habits and routine are everything too. And the reason why I say both of those things are everything is because it really boils down to one thing, which is discipline. And discipline is sometimes that missing ingredient that we don't consider when we're setting those goals. You know, one of the things that I also do within Your Life Rocks is I help people out with their nutrition and reaching their health goals. I've partnered with an amazing company called Isagenix. I know some of you on this call have also partnered with that company and you know those great benefits. But we all know that to get something different, we have to sometimes do something different, right? So discipline is what that missing piece is. It's important that we start to implement that into every part of our life. And if you really truly think about it, that discipline piece really is very biblical. And sometimes we can be completely outside of being disciplined, always giving into what we want, when we want it, how we want it, what is easy for us. And you know what? We're not called to do that. Greatness is on the other side of that thing that's stopping us, that gate. So discipline makes you move past that, whether it's through your calendar, through weekly planning. Having great habits will move you past that. Because it's one thing to set a goal. I want you to achieve it. I want you to have success. And I know you want it too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here with me on a Thursday night learning about how to set goals in a balanced way, right? So this is really, really important to make sure that you respect yourself enough to respect your time. I want you to think about the most influential, amazing person that you can think of. Maybe it's the pastor of your church. Maybe it's the CEO of the company that you work for. Maybe it is your favorite author. If you had a call scheduled with them, say tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you were just not feeling it, would you cancel on them? Or would you keep the appointment? Chances are you would probably keep the appointment, unless you're like really sick and contagious, but you would probably keep the appointment. So why is it so easy for us to not keep that appointment if that appointment is with ourselves? Say if it's for a workout, or if it's to do something for our business, something that's going to move us closer to our goals. Maybe it's going through our finances. I am not the one who loves doing my budget every single month. I hate it, in fact. When I was working corporately, I would have paid someone to do my expense reports for me every single month. It is not my strength. It is not something I love to do, but I know I have to have the discipline to do it in order to get where I want to go. So I challenge you that maybe that's just the one piece for you this year, is just to respect yourself enough that you hold those appointments in your calendar that are going to move you closer to your goals. Maybe that's the one thing that you need to get from this webinar. If that's it, awesome. All right, so now let's talk about that final piece to the puzzle, what it really truly takes in order to be successful. Again, it's one thing to think of the goals. It's one thing to prepare for the goals, but to do the do, keeping that appointment with yourself, doing those things when you just don't wanna. Maybe it's getting up early to work out. Maybe it's doing something else that you just don't wanna do, but it definitely does take sacrifice. And one of my favorite quotes of all time is, sacrifice is giving up something good for something better. Sacrifice is giving up something good for something better. You know, sometimes we settle, and we, especially as Christians, we can sometimes get into this place where we're like, you know what, I should just be content. I should just think that this is okay. And if the Spirit is telling you that, then by all means listen. But God has great things for you. He wants so much for you. He is a God of abundance. And I truly, truly believe that. And I feel like sometimes we put limits on Him based on what we do and the actions we take and the beliefs that we put on ourselves. We limit God. And of course, we can't really limit God, but we can shut it out. We can do things that are not going to allow those blessings to come. So dream big, set those big goals, but know that it's going to take action. Nothing just falls in our lap, because the true blessing of setting goals and getting to where you want to go is that grit that's in the middle. You know, no grit, no pearl, right? So when you are setting your goals, that's the pearl. The grit is going to get you there. You know, one of the things that's very culturally hot right now, and you hear it in a lot of places, is that life should be easy. And if it's hard, maybe you're going in the wrong direction and you need to change directions. But, you know, sometimes God has us going through certain storms to strengthen us and to build integrity and character. And those things are good to have. And that's what sets it for a good role model for our kids. And it sets us up to be much stronger women in general. Now, sometimes God does use those storms to course correct us, but that's really where being in the Word, having that routine, setting goals for your faith really can help you have that discernment in that area. So what does it take? It takes hard work. It takes having systems and structures in place to reach the goal. So my question to you is, as you're looking at your goals and your intentions for 2017, do you have a structure in place that is going to allow you to achieve those goals? Do you have accountability in place? Do you have social structure in place? Do you know how to do the things that you need to do in order to get to where you want to go? You know, those three things are so important. I'm going to repeat them just so that you can write that down. 3 things to consider in making sure you are set up for success. Do you have the ability, the personal ability? Do you know how to do the things that you need to do in order to get to where you want to go? Or do you need to find someone who's going to teach you? You know, maybe you're not super savvy with finances and you don't even know where to begin in creating a budget. Maybe you need to hire a financial coach or take a budgeting class so that you can really learn those skills in order to get there. The second thing is do you have the systems in place, right? Do you have those things that are going to help you get to where you want to go? Because it's important that you have all of those tracks to run on in order for you to be successful. Do you have that accountability as a social piece? Do you have someone who knows what your goals are? They're going to call you out when you're not playing at your best, when you are canceling that appointment on yourself. Do you have someone who's going to celebrate with you when you push past that little voice in your head that tells you can't? Do you have people around you that will pray for you when you're struggling? Or sometimes we always talk about praying when we're struggling, but what about praying for gratitude of all the amazing things that God has done in our lives? It's important that you have those structures in place. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about our membership that we have. It's called Life Balance by Your Life Rocks, and it covers all of this for you. It truly is the tracks to run on in order to help you be successful in the coming year. Now, this membership covers so much, so I wanted to talk really briefly with you about it tonight. So what Life Balance by Your Life Rocks is it really is starts with a course, a 90-day course that has videos, worksheets, things to really help you, one, get very clear on your goals for that 90-day period, identify the obstacles that are going to keep you from reaching those goals. We help you overcome those obstacles and really map it all out in a very structured way. Now, after we do those 90-day planning sessions and really map out your goals, we're going to help you reverse engineer that on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. So I love this time of year, and I used to be a total planner junkie, always looking for that perfect planner and never finding it. And you know why? Because it's not just what's going to be on a paper that's going to help me be successful. It has to be a system. It has to be a habit. It has to be something that I have support around in order to help me stick to it. And that's exactly what this membership is. Yes, there's a planner in there, but it has the coursework that goes right along with that planner to help you get the most out of it, to really move you forward towards your goal. It gives you that structure, it gives you that accountability, and it gives you a great community within Life Balance as well. I mean, these women pray for each other, they lift each other up. It's an amazing, amazing community, and we have so many plans for this new year of 2017 to really invest even more money into our community structure, because I truly believe, especially as working Christian moms, we can be very isolated and isolating, and we need each other. We need those people around us to pray for us and to celebrate with us, and who truly get what it's like to be a Christian working mom in this fallen world, because some days it's not super easy. And it's important that we have those sisters in Christ right next to us to really help us be our best each and every single day for our families, for God, and for ourselves, right? The other thing that we have within our membership, and something that I love, one of our members said to me the other day, she said, you know, as I'm doing my daily planning every single morning and doing my structured day, it's like I have a blueprint for my goals. I can look out ahead and see myself actually achieving them. Like, it's for the first time in my life, I can actually see it happening versus setting a goal and having it be kind of like a wish. So I love that she called it like a blueprint. I think that that was really great. But one of the things we just added to our membership, which I am so super excited about and really was part of the greater vision at the very beginning, is our lifestyle experts. So this means we have experts to help you grow in your finances, to help you grow in your marriage, to help you grow in your health, in your parenting, home organization. We're actually, even though it's not one of the 8 categories, also bringing on a personal stylist just to help you figure out, I want to look good at work, and what am I supposed to wear, or on the weekends, or date night with my spouse, all of those things to really help you build that confidence as a woman as well. So those lifestyle experts have a ton of content within our membership. You'll also be hearing them on our podcast. You'll be getting to know them in our greater community of Life Balance, or excuse me, of Your Life Rocks community on Facebook as well. So you'll get to know those experts. They're there for everybody, but they have some extra special training and tips and everything for our members of Life Balance. And lastly, we have master classes. So just like we're doing here tonight, we have these every single month within our membership. And it's always different things, right? Sometimes it's SOPs, standard operating practices. What are you doing monthly, daily, weekly, as those habits? Sometimes we'll have guest experts come on, certainly our lifestyle experts coming on to really pour extra knowledge into your life to help you really build a life that rocks. That's why we call it Your Life Rocks. So it really is that one-stop shop for working Christian moms. So if you want to learn more information about our membership, you can go to yourliferocks.com/life balance. Right now, there is a special because I truly want to help as many women get really clear for the next 90 days and help you really move mountains towards your goals in 2017. So it's 50% off through the end of this week, or really the end of the month, to help you get started on that journey. So I hope that you would check that out. All right, so that is the end of our masterclass. But what I would love to do is I would love to hear from you guys. So I'm going to actually unmute the line. So if you want to stay muted, then you can just mute yourself. But I would love to hear any questions that you have. I see we've got some things going on in the chat as well, but I'm truly here to support you and any questions that you have for me. All right. Okay, Christine, I see your hand is raised.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, that's okay. I thought maybe you had a question. Jennifer, she's so cute. Well, any questions from anybody at all? Nope, no questions? You guys are all super easy. Carrie, it's so good to see your face. How are you? All right, ladies. Well, this concludes our master training tonight. So I hope that that was helpful for you. And like I said, I'm going to be gifting everyone, if you're listening to this on replay or anyone who's on live, with our weekly success planning. So watch for that in the next few days. You'll get your sign-in information for that course along with your goal setting workbook that goes right along with that. So that'll really help you out as well. As we move throughout 2017. Now, if you ever need to reach me, feel free to email me at Jenny, Jenny, at yourliferocks.com. Of course, you can also find me on Facebook, tag me in the group in any of the posts within the Your Life Rocks community, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you guys have. I hope you have an amazing new year, and I look forward to seeing you all in the group. Talk to you later. Bye.